Okay, we are chapter 23. This is sixth part of that chapter, day 62. Previous class I told you how to find mean by the first method called direct method. This is the second method, finding mean by method called shortcut method. The data that will be given are class intervals and frequency. It is the same data which I solved in the previous class. There are class intervals starting from 0 to 10 up to 40 to 50, and these are the respective frequencies which are given. For this method, whichever method you use, you have to know the formula that has to be used for that particular method. In the previous case, in the direct method, the formula for mean was sigma fx by sigma f. Now if you look at mean formula, mean is equal to A plus sigma fd by sigma f. There are a few new things here. A is new and there is a d. I have written here where A stands for assumed mean. Now you will have to assume something as your mean, and d's value, which I showed you here, d is x minus a, where x is the mean value of each class interval minus the assumed mean. Okay. So we will see all these now. So this is the data that is given. This was the data, the two columns. Okay. The rest we will have to fill in. So according to this formula, so the first thing that you have to find is A, the assumed mean. For finding the assumed mean, the third column that you have to find is the mid value of each class interval. That also I had mentioned previously. Between 0 and 10, the mid value is 5, and then the difference between these class intervals is 10 each. Therefore, you keep adding 10 to each of these mid values. So that's 5, 10 more is 15, 10 more is 25, 35 and 45. These are your mid values, that is termed as x. Okay. Now from this mid values, you will have to choose one of these values as your assumed mean. Now if you look at these mid values, there are 5 of them. So the mid value in this is 25, something which is in the middle. So this becomes your assumed mean. 25 is your assumed mean normally. You can choose anything you want. If there were 6 mid values, 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, there was even a 55. So there are 6 mid values here. So you have to choose one of them. So in the middle you will see, if there was a 55, then 25 and 35 will be in the middle. Okay. You can choose one of them, either 25 or you can choose 35, one of them. Okay. So that's your wish. Whichever value you want, you can assume as your A value. Okay. So in this case, in the middle you have 25, therefore I am going to assume this is your mean. So that value is A. So we got A's value. Plus you need sigma fd by sigma f, sum of f values. These are your f values. Add all this, that will give you sigma f, which is 50. Then the numerator, you have sigma f into d. So to find this, you know f values, you have to find d values. So our next column after finding mid values is finding d. D, I said, is equal to x minus a. Each mid value which is here minus your assumed mean. So D is equal to x minus a is the next column. So our first D value will be x value is 5 minus a value is 25. 5 minus 25 gives you minus 20. Next x value is 15. 15 minus 25 will give you minus 10. Then 25 minus 25 will give you 0. 35 minus 25 will give you 10. And 45 minus 25 will give you 20. And these are your D values. Okay. After finding your D values, the next column that you will find is multiply F values with these D values that you got. Okay. So each F value has to be multiplied with each D value here. So 8 into minus 20 is minus 160. 10 into minus 10 is minus 100, and 9 into 0 gives you a 0, and then 12 into 10 is 120. Now I've written negative values separately. Now write the positive values little away. So 12 into 10 is 120 and 11 into 20 is 220. So you got two negative values, two positive values. Okay. If you add these, you will get minus 260, and if you add this, you will get 340. 340 minus 260 will give you an 80, that is sigma FD. Okay. So we got sigma F, we got sigma FD. Now look at the formula and see whether you got all the values. Mean is equal to A's value is here, that's 25, plus sigma FD's value is 80 divided by sigma F value is 50. Substitute these values. So this is our next step. The next step is A's value is 25 from here, plus sigma FD value is 80 divided by sigma F value is 50. If you simplify this, the zeros will get cancelled. 8 divided by 5 will give you 1.6. So that's 25 plus this gives you 1.6. Add both of them, that will give you 26.6 is the mean value. It was the same whether you use direct method or shortcut method. In the previous case, I showed you direct method. This was the value of the mean. Okay. Even if you use shortcut method for the same data, the mean value is the same. That's 26.6. Okay. So this is your second method, and the homework for today is exercise 23B, question numbers 36, 41, 42 and 34 using the second method, that's called shortcut method.